Shall we pray? Dear Heavenly Father, we grateful heart for the spring weather and the reminder of life and renewal and your ever present here for us. We ask that you would guide and direct us in all we say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Burnett. Here. Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Alderman Leeberry. Here. Alderman Crockett.
Here.
Alderman Walker.
Here.
Alderman Fair. Here. Alderman Benjamin.
Here.
Administrator Asbury.
Here.
Clerk, I'm here. We have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. We should have 2 claims reports and meetings will last a minute. Any questions? No, we can start.
I have a question on the bill.
Okay.
Wax toilet ring for $641.
So that's one of those where everything listed, only part of what's listed in that particular PO prints on this particular report. If you wanna see like the actual PO of everything that was spent
That's
on
not
that.
$641.
No.
That's a good one.
No, it better not ever leak, that's for sure. No, it's just.
Okay, I get it, I get it.
Any other questions?
Make a motion, we pay bills and approve the
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Citizens participation. You want to go first? Yeah. Great.
Hello, my name is Emilio. Nice to meet you all. Hope everyone is doing good. As pretty much most of you maybe know, here to open a business, Mr. Tequila Mexican Restaurant for everyone. Excited to be here and become part of the town. There was a thing where, there was a thing where we weren't expecting different experience here. We got today open, going to the restaurant, everything is going good, and looking forward to get a liquor license, which we weren't expecting from experiences before in this town. Or other locations where we'll get a business license and liquor license like at the moment right away, like already with the state liquor. And yesterday, for my surprising, I came in and weren't expecting that it's kind of a 2-week process or more, and we were just ready to go and just something different new experience, but still excited to continue and see if I can get that approval for everyone and get business better going.
Do you have an application?
He has his application mostly filled out, but because it was on for the board meeting already, this way, once we get the signatures from Mandy, and it will already look over it. But we still would need 2 weeks for the next board meeting. I told him if he came and addressed the board correctly, and we approved the balance of paperwork, so I'll give it to him without having to wait another 2 weeks. But he got his business license today, everything looks like it's in order, he has a state liquor license. It was just a matter if he was ready to open, and it would be 2 weeks before the next board meeting.
He does have a state liquor license?
He does have the state license, and he has the city business license. It's just the liquor license itself needs board approval. So it's either he brings it to you guys tonight, or we do it in 2 weeks.
So basically, Mandy and Chief Goodwill approve it, you're asking for
Yes.
this to.
This is not the one we approve. This is the one the board approves, like with all the grocery stores.
Right,
and
right.
Whittles
We
and
usually do
all.
all of
Yeah,
them
they-
at one time.
Yes, we do them all in the end of July.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 months.
I make a motion, we approve it, we'll take it done.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, yeah, you're good. As soon as you get the paperwork into him, let him know, she'll look at it, and then it'll come to me and I'll sign it, and you'll be good. I'll bring it over to you.
Thanks so much.
Yep.
That's your.
Yeah, congratulations on your opening day.
Other citizen participation? If not, okay.
I have a question for you. What are your hours of operation?
We open pretty much every day at 11. Monday through Thursday, we're closed at 9. Friday, Saturday, 9:30. And Sunday is the only day that we close a little bit earlier. It's at 8 o'clock. But every day at 11, we should be open.
Thank you.
Okay, old business, we have a minute bill, this is the one. Sick.
Oh, yeah, somebody.
than me that's dealt with this. Thoughts?
I don't have any thoughts. I think this is excellently written. Very proud you guys did a great job.
For those of you that are done with this, good. Is there a motion?
Make a motion sorry. You can put on the pre, right, or is it amended?
Yes, amended.
Okay.
Like it's fifth reading.
Yeah.
Alright, I make a motion to put ordinance number 13-2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Amended bill number 13-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.330 sick leave.
Alright, I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 13-2026 on its second and final reading, ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Amended bill number 13-2026, an ordinance amending chapter 140 personnel practices of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising section 140.330 sick leave. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaverly.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mayor, you have no ayes and passage approval.
I declare amended bill number 13-2026 to be ordinance 13-2026. Staff updates. Chief Furnace?
This time?
Yes. Steve?
Guys been real busy. They've been working on a lot of water leaks and getting other projects going. We met with state on the trail, so we're gonna be starting on that pretty quickly. They finalized where we crossed the road at, so we're gonna start preparing to start on the trail too.
I did get in the certified election results, so next meeting we'll be able to verify the election and swear everybody back in.
Hey, Chief Bidwell, do you wanna speak about the
Oh.
vehicle?
I didn't know if you wanted to do that now.
Yeah.
Just got it.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, in my police budget, I'm allotted $24,000 for a grant that we did not receive due to audits. I'd like to reallocate that money, go out for bid, and replace one of the patrol cars for the purpose of an EMA/code. I just need, I guess I need you to give Mandy permission to reallocate that funds towards that. We can go out to bid and we'll bring it back to you in 2 weeks.
Amend the budget.
The amount won't change, just where the money's allocated. We went out we put in the budget, $24,000 for SWAT cameras as our portion of what that grant would have been awarded. We did not get that grant, and so we're going to have a vehicle in the future, and so, rather than, moving it to next year's budget or just not spending it, go ahead and spend it on something that we know that we're going to need, that we're doing right now, that we're gonna have to put off. And then if we wanna go out for, that grant, go for that grant again next year, we will.
You need a
Need a
motion?
motion?
Yes.
Wanna make a motion?
Do you have something in mind that's readily available?
I do, but I still have to take bids now.
Okay.
So there's motion and second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Oh, Randy, you wanna talk about the side by side? Oh my gosh, left my brain. Just what we're doing, it's in the budget, but just talk about what the fire department's going to be getting.
Yeah, we test drove last week, a couple of side-by-sides, one, we got 2 bids on them, we went through Polaris, and then we went through Can-Am, through the federal government bid process. They're the only ones that sell federal government bid vehicles, side-by-sides. And these are specially designed for fire, and they have one that's specially designed for police. And we, after several bouts of negotiations, we come up with, the side-by-side, we're gonna go with the Can-Am. And it's gonna be ready, when it's delivered, it's gonna be ready to go with the skid unit in it. And, the lights and siren and all that kind of stuff.
Can that be used on the trail?
Yes.
Trail, 4th of July, there's gonna be a lot of uses for it. so I'm excited for them to have it. And it's a really cool ride too. It took me over. Scared me a little bit, but hey, you know, it was good.
Now you can drive it in an emergency.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, let's go into new business, bill number 26. This is street closures for the school. We're gonna talk about this in a little bit, Chief Kendall. Street closures for the school.
They just asked for an ordinance. I
Is that
mean,
the same?
nothing, it's nothing I did.
No, it doesn't, it's different, it's on the North Street.
This is on North Street, so they can designate, from the school on up to Pine, teacher parking only. Right now it's not, and they would like to have it designated for teacher parking only on the school side, correct, Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a time frame on this, or there's no time frame?
It's the same, it's the same as what we do with Pine,
Seven.
before the first and second.
Thoughts?
Is this a change?
It's an addition. They were having some issues with student parking, so they asked us to make this an ordinance.
Now, will that limit parent parking there when they need to come to visit the school, or Brian?
Honestly, Terry, I don't know. I mean, they had an issue with, students parking there on the ag side. I call it the ag side, that's what it was when I was in school, but, and they just asked if they could control those parking spaces during the school hours for the purpose of controlling the parking.
The north side is still available for anyone to park, it's just the south side there along the side of the school that won't be available to the general public.
What's the teeth in the ordinance? You tell them?
I probably would not, but I guess you could. I mean, we would just find them and tell them to move.
Can the school have a policy? Because the issue is students are parking there and we need teachers to be able to park there, is that correct? So, that being a city street, is it possible for the school to make an in-school, I mean, the people, we're not gonna tow parents or visitors or, you know, the State Board of Education. But if students continue to park there, can the school make their own rules that are applicable to the students to modify behavior or change behavior?
It's a city street. Taxpayers pay for that street. It's a city street. So the school could not dictate what happens on a city street. You guys would have to.
Okay. So if we did this, then is there a consequence for students that park?
Towing? What?
That's what I ask. I mean, I don't go tell them to move it.
If they refuse, then it gets towed.
It would be really hard to get me to tow a student's car. I'm not gonna lie to you. It would be, I mean, it would be a lot, and it'd be a heck of a fight.
So their only issue is students parking there, not other people?
That's the way I understood it.
Can't they enforce that without us doing anything?
It's a city street.
Yeah, but
It's not school owned, it's city owned, so if it's in writing an ordinance, then we don't have, then they have something that they can stand on and say, hey, you can't park here.
They can't dictate what happens to a city street. That's why I had to bring Pine to you guys years ago.
So in all reality, they would just put a sign up that says like it is now, don't park here between 7 and 4.
I don't think we would. I think the school would.
So school would put a sign up. They would sign
for
like everywhere else, where there's a sign that says don't park here, and if people park there, they park there. I mean, it's either gonna help the situation or it's gonna not change it.
We'll just have to park across the street.
We'll just have to park across the street.
And if it becomes a problem, the school can get the student and they can ask them to move, and then if they don't, then it becomes a violation. Just that they don't.
Don't they have an officer there
Yes.
that could go ask the student to
Yeah,
resource
That's
officer.
not a problem.
That you could go ask them
Yeah.
soon to move off a city street because of ordinance.
I mean, in all reality, probably kids aren't parking there on purpose. I'm saying some kids probably rolling in at 8:28, trying to live in a parking space and get there before their party.
They're parking there.
That's correct. I think we're parking on Purpose Street.
Really?
Yes.
I live in the 8:28.
I make a motion with the ordinance number 2026 on its first reading, has to be for the read by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 26-2026, an ordinance amending Schedule 9 limited street closures on the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising Table 9A limited street closures.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 26-2026 on its second time of reading, has to be first read by title only.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 26-2026, an ordinance amending Schedule 9 limited street closures in the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri by revising Table 9A limited street closures. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yeah.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, have ayes and passes in approval.
Now declare amended. Now declare amended bill. That's not, I just. Bill 27-2026 to the ordinance 27-2026. 26-26.
Copy and paste it from the first one.
No worries, I got it.
I think I got it.
You did, I just didn't see that. Okay, okay, 27, this is if you redo more than 50% of your house, you have to pay to the street.
I got a question. If we're making the residents pay for driveways, why don't we make the businesses pay their parking lots? Good excuse for the winter.
I mean, that's a different code, but we can look at it. What do you, okay, I mean, I'm all for having businesses pay their parking lots.
Boy.
This has been a point of contention, this is Robbie, this has been a point of what you guys want done.
Full disclosure, my business has a parking lot that's not paved. I don't know where that water's gonna run. Right now it's soaks in.
But for this amendment or adjustment, this is talking about new or remodel constructions, right? Not existing.
Residential.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
This
we
is
can do the same thing for
27-2026, right? That's what we're working on.
You're looking at the very last page, that's the only change is on the very last page. Basically what it does is just requires, the concrete driveway. Another addition that we put in this, Chief Kidwell and I talked about this, was the accessory drive, where if you have like boat, camper, whatever, that's not a part of the 12-foot drive that's required, is that can be clean gravel instead. So you wouldn't have to have concrete on the entire area, you could have just your concrete drive, that's the 12-foot wide requirement, and then if you have, another area, we call it the accessory drive, that could be clean rock substitute.
Well, the people living next door to me couldn't do this. If they did, I don't think they're gonna do 50% of their house or any of that. But there is no room for them to have, a minimum of 2 vehicles per dwelling. Parking area for a minimum of 2 vehicles.
Well, it's not a requirement to have the 2 vehicles, it's just to have
12-foot wide.
And the driveway must be, and have a parking area for a minimum of 2 vehicles. Well, they could park behind each other.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sorry.
Hey, so I didn't know this was on there. Can I say something about this? I really like fixing up junk houses in Eldon, and I do pave a lot, but it's like 10 grand every time probably. And so if you're telling other people that want to fix up houses in this town that they have to do this other thing, it's like another nickel and dime thing, because there's like 30 of them that are ridiculous a little bit. I like the paved driveway, the idea of it, but is it gonna incentivize somebody to fix up a dump house in town? Or is it gonna make it where they don't wanna do it in this town?
Yes.
So do you want nice houses, or do you want, junk houses with no driveways, or nice houses that don't happen because you're adding another 10 grand to their bill? Like the money that's made on these flip houses is so small. I'm gonna take a little bit of a bath in that grand house I just redid, but I redid it because Amy really wanted it. I should've tore it down, I didn't do it. But if I got paved the driveway, definitely would not have done that project. So if you guys are cool with that junk house on Grand still being there, do this thing where you gotta pave driveways. Like, our government already does too much and too many rules, like, let's not keep going. But, I'm fine either way, because I'll just do new construction where I gotta pave it anyways.
It's gonna increase your value. I mean, when I redid my house, I poured a lot of concrete, and it's just increased my value of my house.
I'm wondering what
House
the
dirty.
purpose of this is. How did this come forward? Why is this being brought to the board?
It's in the ordinance right now, any new construction has to have it.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you've got a house that's got new construction right next to one that's been remodeled. And there's been people that are like, why do I have to do it with new construction? This guy remodeled next to me and he left gravel there. And there's other instances of that, they're like, why don't I have to do this? There's also the accessory driveway, there's some people that have campers that wanted to put it next to a spot. Well, right now they can't do it with gravel, they're supposed to do it with pavement, and we're not supposed to allow them to do it with gravel.
But is that gravel gonna come all the way to the current roadway? If it does, there's no sense in changing it.
I mean, the way,
Have gravel bill if
the
it
way
gets
this
at
is
the
written,
side.
it says additional parking areas, it doesn't say if it comes all the way to the road or not, it's kinda up to the person, the way this one's written. And it says it's up to the coast.
Kind of with Corey, if I wanna remodel my house and spend 50% and have to pay another 10 grand for the driveway, I ain't gonna do it.
And especially if it already exists that way. That's where I'm at with it.
And who's gonna?
I wish I could get a driveway for 10 grand.
Right, that too.
I mean,
That too, Sarah.
concrete is a lot more expensive. For me to get a new driveway, it would be a lot more than $10,000.
I like the idea of it, but I'm with him on it being a requirement.
So if we do that, if we leave it to where you're basically grandfathering in anything that's existing already, I think we need to do something with the L2, because the additional parking areas, if we're okay with that being gravel, we need to put that in there, because that makes it easier on the code enforcement person to go in there and say, yes, you can put gravel next to it, to put your camper, to put your side-by-side, whatever you're parking over there. Because right now, that's not allowed. We're not supposed to be allowed. It's kind of difficult to enforce, because sometimes it just happens, but.
With that being said, also though, when you build your additional driveways, there's also utilities. A lot of times they wanna build over the meter, and then they want the meter moved, and they want the city to pay for all that cost. So
Yeah.
they have to make sure that's not allowed either.
Yeah.
Or they have to pay to have all that moved.
Thoughts? There's a motion out there.
I mean, here are my thoughts. Well, it would be ideal to have every single house with a paved driveway in a perfect city. I think it looks worse on a city if you have a bunch of junk houses versus a bunch of nice houses, great living opportunities and areas with a gravel driveway. I grew up on a gravel road. It was fun. Would I love it to be asphalt? Sure, but it wasn't. But I think that if it's a maintained driveway, no matter what it is, it's better than nothing. And I think you're gonna have a very hard time trying to determine what's 50%, because you're gonna have people arguing, well, I didn't do this, so technically that's only 49%. And who's gonna know that, and who's gonna argue that?
So full disclosure, I live on a gravel road, and I told my wife before I left, I said, if part of our house burns, we're never rebuilding. And she said, why? Because our driveway is long. You guys have never seen where our driveway is. I'm not spending that amount of money on concrete. I'd rather tear it down and sell my lot, so. I'm serious. It's long. It's supposed to be a city street.
I'm laughing because that's so true.
But Trevor, could you just not at least do the entrance into your drive
The
as
first 12
concrete?
feet. Well, I don't own it because it's technically a city's easement through there.
That's what I'm saying, I don't think you'd have to pave it all.
And I don't know.
If the board is
I mean-
okay, excuse me.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
If the board's okay with L2, and does anybody have problems with that?
The last
Can we rewrite this and come back next time?
I think, I wonder if you need to change it to like L2, L1, switch those two.
That's what I meant. I mean, drop L1.
You mind if I say something?
Yeah, no, please, you're the one that's dealing with it more than anybody else.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. I mean, in the past, prior to us, it was kind of wishy-washy whether we made them or whether we didn't, okay? So now, all of a sudden, we're going by exactly what the code says. So whatever the code says, that's what we do. I do think it's overregulated just a touch. I absolutely do. And I also, 2019, prior to being placed in charge of codes, went through and I worked the dilapidated houses all over town. I created a list of 130 homes. I gave it to you guys way back when, okay? The house he's talking about on Grange was on that list and it was on the top of the list, 300. So, to me, I don't really care. If it's got a chat driveway, it's got a chat driveway. But you get a new house out of it. The purpose in giving this to you guys was to have a set order of what you want done as the board. So whatever it is y'all want, we'll do, but we just need to know, because some of it was the accessory drive for a camper, for instance, had to be paid. In some of the ordinance, it says that it can be rock, and it has to be on a gravel path. But the ordinance that you're reviewing says it needs to be driveway, hard path.
So that, should this be amending if?
Well, you're amending the ordinance, you just need to decide which way you're gonna go. Whether it needs to be paved, or whether a remodeled home, if it's the existing driveway and they don't alter or change the driveway, can the driveway remain the same?
If I was researching this and it didn't say amendings in the beginning, that it was amended and amended and amended, I would have a lot of trouble finding it. And so now you're saying there's prior ordinances that whatever happens, if we pass any of this, we're amending.
Well, we would have to bring back R1, R2, R3. I'm not really sure about neighborhood commercial. We'd have to bring back all the residential codes, because that's just the parking, that Roger manipulated into that. We would have to bring back all the residential and change the parking in it. There would be a lot to it. I mean, it would be quick for you guys, but.
Again, who wanted what? Again, why is the board looking at this? Who brought this forward?
Every contractor in town.
And what do they want?
Ask them.
They don't want it.
Well, I have a bunch of other things I'm hoping to get passed, so this isn't even my deal. This is all moving in here.
Not to throw him under the bus.
Well,
I mean, you got two of them sitting right here.
These are valid opinions.
Yes.
I would like to, I think it's something worth hearing.
When you look at a house and you do the numbers, is this worth doing? And when you get down to it, sometimes it's so close, like, I'm redoing houses where there's only potential $20,000 for profit. Well, that gets blown the first floor joist that's rotted out, which is usually a lot of them. So then there's no money there. So like, why would I keep coming back if it's gonna be a loser, you know? So just adding this, this asphalt would be.
I'd rather have the new house than the new driveway.
So ideally, what you're saying is, you would like for the option to remain with you. You could choose.
And if the money's there
to pave it
in the right house,
if
like,
you want to, or you could choose to gravel it and build a new house, but you don't want necessarily a rule telling you you have to.
You might want to have you might have a buyer that says, I'm willing to pay the extra 10 or 15,000 to have a concrete or paved driveway. More power to them, let's do it.
Did your grandhouse have a driveway to begin with? Because we used to park on the street there.
It didn't. I added the driveway.
Okay.
Not only that, like, what if they just do it themselves? Like, then you're gonna have people quit creeping that stuff.
Well, there was a trailer in that part next to it.
Well, there was
yeah.
Well, that's
There was a driveway between the trailer
I mean,
and
like, then you're gonna be like, oh, I'll save myself money, I'm gonna go buy 20 bags of quick
Yeah.
creep, and I'm gonna slap it down on my driveway.
I think we kind of know where we want to go. We want to bring this back.
That's my thing.
What do you want brought back as?
Steve, what's
clean
the
it
effect
up.
of paper or snow plowing when you have gravel drives or versus concrete? Is there any effect on you guys?
On the driveways, we don't do the driveways.
I
so-
know, but when you get close to them,
I mean, we'll windrow the gravel a little bit, but I mean, it's not gonna,
and nobody's complaining about having to put some more gravel in.
well, they complain, yes.
Complain,
But, I mean, it's something you can't avoid. If you wanted to try to knock the driveway down, you're gonna windrow the rock. But that's, we don't try to get into any private driveways.
So, nobody has an issue with the additional, parking area adding rocks, so do we just wanna bring that back as the amendment?
We can make a motion to amend it now, and when he retypes it, it will be done as you say.
So I would make a motion that we remove L1 completely on the last page, and we move 2 up to 1 and bring it back as such. Or pass it as such, which basically means we're adding the additional parking with clean rock, but we're taking away the requirement to paint.
I second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Amended bill number 27, 2026. Ordinance amending chapter 400 zoning regulations and municipal code, City of Allen, Missouri by revising section 400.190, off-street parking and loading requirements.
I make the same motion I made earlier, removing L1, moving up L2, and second. Go ahead, David, loud forward.
Amended bill number 27.
Wait, was there a second?
Yeah, Terry second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Sorry.
Amended bill number 27, 2026. Ordinance amending chapter 400 zoning regulations, municipal code of the City of Allen, Missouri by revising section 400.190, off-street parking and loading requirements. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mary Hannah, ayes and passage and approval.
Now declare bill number 27, 2026 to be ordinance 27, 2026. 28 is a pay application for First Street Storm Sewer. And then, anything to say about this one?
I got the sewer put in last week, we went into service yesterday, after they finished grouting. This past week, they started putting pipe in between the 5th and 4th boxes, just in case it starts pouring rain again. We want to have those pipes in so the gravel doesn't wash away, and the water can actually get out. It's been slow going with that pole and the power lines above, but they're making progress.
Okay, so it was 17,801 and 10 cents.
I make a motion to put ordinance number 28, 2026 on its first reading and second by title reading.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 28-2026. Ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 4, agreement between the City of Allen, Missouri and B&P Patterson LLC.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 28, 2026 on second final reading and city clerk to read by title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 28-2026. Ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 4, agreement between the City of Allen, Missouri and B&P Patterson LLC. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yeah.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mary Hannah, ayes and passage and approval.
Now declare bill number 28, 2026 to be ordinance 28, 2026. Bill 29, 2026, this is with Ditmer ditching. We owe them $33,902.19. They seem to be moving a little faster now.
They are, last week they did about 150 feet a day, well, 140 or 160 feet a day because they're 20-foot sections. As of right now, or as of today, they weren't after today, both of the guys said doctor's limits. As of today, they're at 4,400 feet, so over halfway done with the water main. I haven't heard about their test results that they had recently. They kind of tested not too long ago, but I don't know what happened with it.
I pulled some tests for them. We had one come back positive, one come back good. So they're getting there.
And that's all I have for that right now.
Questions on this?
This is for what?
Water main project on the other side.
Yeah, no, I kind of in question to this. Is there a big part of the budget for this project is curbing, right? Is there any way to keep any of that that's already there and actually replace it all? I would like to do that.
I drove around out there, it is in rough shape, but if you look at the numbers on it, on option one, the total construction cost is 1.8 million, and only 729,000 of those for the streets. 1.1 million is for curbs. I can't justify spending that kind of money on road that curbs. What can we do? Can we mill out the streets, use the curb?
I mean, we can continue to look at it and see if that's a possibility. I know that when Scott and Steve and I met on this, they were looking at, when they took it out for bid, it was going to be using a curb machine, what's it called?
Yeah, it's a curb machine.
Curb machine, all right, that's right.
To take out the curb also,
Which
right?
is,
But they have other machines they can use, right?
Well, for the street and the curb is different. I mean, you're gonna mill out the street no matter what. But the curb is, once you take the curb out, it's a curb machine. It goes down and pours the concrete, you know, and just runs down through there where you're not setting forms like you would
Yeah.
manually.
Because it's a rollback, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask a question? Sorry, I am not. First of all, what's a doghouse manhole cover? I saw that on here.
Oh, a doghouse manhole is, so whenever, what we did with First Street was reroute the line so that way it doesn't pass through the storm drain. And a doghouse manhole is made to sit over an existing line, so that way you can plug it and then reroute it somewhere else. So all a doghouse does is sit over an active sewer line, and then they grout around it and knock out the old pipe and put the new one in.
Thank you, I was very curious. My real question is this: when we fix or paving or working on any other roads, like the roads by my house or anywhere else, we mill down the middle, correct?
We mill down the
mill on the
edges
sides,
and middle everywhere, depending on the street.
And then we gravel it,
Mhm.
and then eventually it's concreted, correct?
Or paved.
Or paved.
Or
Yes.
asphalted,
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
But we're not, no. If you're asking me if I'm replacing the curbs on other streets, is that what you're asking me?
Yes.
No. We don't have the money.
Why there?
Why there? I don't make those decisions.
That's what we're asking for.
Were there
We can
curbs there in the
look
beginning?
at it.
I mean, I
If
think-
we-
Yes, there are curbs there everywhere.
If we're replacing the streets and looking at all the options, we can look at what curbs need to be replaced and what curbs don't need to be replaced.
I would like,
Just like we did, just like we're doing with which streets need to be milled and which streets don't need to be milled.
There are, I mean, I've driven around, looked at all of them. Some of them aren't maintained by the homeowners and keeping the grass off of them. Some of them have been broken with the construction. Those probably need to be fixed, but
Most of the ones out there that are in really bad shape were done whenever the trash trucks were going through there. They pushed down and they pushed them up in a whole bunch of different spots. I'm not gonna really comment either way because I live there.
you don't have any curbs in your driveway anyway.
I don't, you're correct, but I gotta jump over one to get to
You don't
my
have a
driveway.
driveway.
Whatever we do, I think we're setting a precedent, and I'm good with whatever we do. We're setting a precedent for later on, if we're just going to fix curbs or we're gonna go forward if they're already there. And I really don't care either way, it really doesn't matter.
I just think that $1.1 million could do
It's
one
a
of those
ton of money.
streets.
I don't wanna get in, cause there's gonna be a line to be crossed, where is it going to be more expensive to pick and choose and replace and then stop and then replace and then stop, or just to do the whole thing?
I get what you're saying there. I do think it's worth taking another
Okay,
look
I
at.
have no problem with
I
that.
agree.
Was it budgeted at some time in the past and we agreed to it at some time in the past?
No, we haven't gone out to bid
We
at all
have
for
not
that.
been, so
We,
it's not-
we've talked about it, and it's something that is in part of that, yeah, and once they cut everything, that road is gonna be trash. And most of the curbs are gonna be trash too, because they're gonna have to cut through them to go put the new access lines. But, whenever they go to the water main. But I think it's worth looking at, see what you think.
I mean, I think it's worth looking at only because if the precedent should be the same no matter where you are in town. And that's a big expense for us to take on later on when we go to start trying to fix other streets. If it doubled this estimate, almost just with the curb and guttering, maybe we get the streets decent and then, you know, by some windfall, we have lots of money, we can go back and do all the curb. I know that's more work, but
So my question is, whenever you put service line into the main, because they're all in the middle of the the street. We're gonna be cutting the street again to get there. You're also gonna have to cut the curbs to get there as well, right?
You don't have to, no, you can
You
dig.
can bore under it?
Yeah,
Okay, so we may be able to save the curbs.
it really depends on, what we tell the contractor he can and can't do. I mean, like a lot of times, if the main's broke right under, we have to tear it out because we can't get to it.
So the service line's going to the main, though, that was already bid out, right?
Right.
That's part of what they've got right now. What do we tell them? Do we tell them they have to, can they cut the streets and the curbs, or do we tell them that they have to bore?
Most of the time, they don't even have to bore, you just dig on each side of it and just
Push it through.
push through, that's what we do.
Anybody know how deep the concrete curb is there?
Yeah, and it's a rollback curb, so it shouldn't be that deep.
Okay.
Well, who's
I'm looking-
telling them that?
I
Who
don't-
is giving?
It's already, I'm sure, in the specs
Contractor
is what
that
I'm.
information?
So, my guess would be, because I'm not 100% certain, so you have to clarify with Scott.
Sorry.
But because, rollback, 259 linear feet of rollback curb and, 9 feet of, type A curb and gutter are included in this project, I assume that it's been under assumption that the contractor is going to remove those curbs instead of hand digging under them.
So he'll be pouring the curbs back. So what he tears out, if the bid's correct, he'll be tearing it out, pouring it back in the sections he cuts out.
So I wonder if that was in the change order, though, that we had earlier, whenever we took all of that out, we did a change order not too long ago, not to fix any of the road whenever they got through it. So if we already told them not to do it, we're gonna be on the hook for that expense.
I don't know if that was part of the road patching. I don't know if the curb was involved in that or not.
I'm not.
We got lots of questions. We
Yeah.
gotta take back.
Yeah.
Because I think that could make a difference too. That's something we need to look at. Okay.
So are we, so this needs to be paid regardless, correct?
Yes, this is
So
for
for that project, we're gonna take it back, get some questions answered, do another look?
Yeah, we're not ready to go out for bid anyway until they're done doing it,
Okay, so do you need a motion for 29?
I do.
Okay, I make a motion for the ordinance number 29, 2026 on its first reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 29-2026, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 4 agreement between the city of Eldon, Missouri and Ditcher Ditching LLC.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 29, 2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 29-2026, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and city clerk to execute payment application number 4 agreement between the city of Eldon, Missouri and Ditcher Ditching LLC. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaverly.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett. Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, had an aye, and passage and approval.
And I declare bill number 29, 2026 to be ordinance 29, 2026. Okay, here we go. Lots of time. Okay, number 30. This is. Okay, stop. That's. Okay, questions on this one?
How big will each lot be?
There, this says in here.
I think I got 8, which one?
South Walnut.
Is that the Wrigley? Is that one? 75 by almost 200 on one of them, and to the one to the right of the trailer that I'm proposing, and then the one on the left is 100 by 100. Yeah, both within codes.
So that's a trailer that's sitting on there that's on half of one lot, half of the other right now.
Yeah, the trailer house, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I wondered about that.
I didn't do
Just
this.
split that thing right in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just out of curiosity, you're removing the comments there currently?
No, there's tenants in there. It's got a block underpinning. We remodeled it slightly.
How do you do that?
Wait.
You're gonna leave the trailer there, split between the two lots?
I don't know what sheet you guys have. It should show there's 3.
There's a lot on each side of the trailer is what we're doing.
We're making 3 tracks.
They're making 3 tracks,
We're
okay.
making one to trailer lot.
Well, with the
and
line,
another
it looks
one
like
to-
it's
Oh,
right
yeah.
in the center.
Yeah, so that,
Yes.
Yes.
yes, yes. So that's a lot. And then that's, yeah, so this would be a lot. This is 75 by almost 200, and then this is 100 by 100.
So this right here, you said?
Yep, that's one of them. And then to the left of the trailer.
This right
For the rise of the trailers, yep.
Okay.
This passed planning and zoning, correct?
Correct.
Ross?
Make motion to put ordinance number 30, 2026 on its first reading, as city clerk read by title only.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 30-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at the end of 901 South Walnut as authorized by section 405.320 of the Missouri Municipal Code of the City of Eldon, Missouri.
Make a motion to put bill number 30, 2026 on second and final reading, as city clerk read by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 30-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at the end of 901 South Walnut as authorized by section 405.320 of the Municipal Code of the City of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mary Having ayes and passage and approval.
And I declare bill number 30-2026 be ordinance 30-2026. 31 is another lot split, and this one's on Godfrey. How many on this one?
So that's 3 lots. Miss Duncan's husband passed away, and I didn't really want to buy that piece, but it was big enough to make 3 lots. So I bought it, did the lot split in her name, came in here, did that, and then I got it passed by planning and zoning to do it into 3 lots, and they're each 75 foot apiece.
Questions on this one?
Can you come up here for it? Because this says, is this 2 lots or 3 lots? This,
3 lots.
so this says lot A, or lot B, so what does it look like? What lot, are we splitting this into 3 lots like this?
Yeah, so that big blue square
Yes.
is 75 plus 75 is 150, 225.
The plat maps here as well.
So it's just an even 75 foot each lot,
So
chopping
you're
that up.
splitting 3 split.
Yeah, I think the reason why it says that is because,
Yes.
yeah, and then on this was Miss Duncan's house and stuff, you know, so this was just like a big field that got chopped off, and it turned into 3 lots.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Other questions? Motion?
I make a motion to put ordinance number 31, 2026 on its first reading and as the city clerk to read it by title only.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 31-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at North Godfrey Street as authorized by section 405.320 of the Municipal Code of the City of Eldon, Missouri.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 31, 2026 on its second and final reading and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 31-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at North Godfrey Street as authorized by section 405.320 of the Municipal Code of the City of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mary Having ayes and passage and approval.
And I declare bill number 31-2026 to be ordinance 31-2026. Okay, the next one is North Oak and Mustang Ridge. Questions on this one? No. No? Is there a vote?
How many lots on this one? Sorry.
So this would be, 4 lots. And so really, I already have 4 foundations in the ground and duplex is built. It's just hard to get the bank to finance 4 at one time. So I was trying to, he's like, hey, can you get this into a lot split where it's individual deals, so. The only thing that's gonna change is paperwork. Like, I'm not adding any more, like I said, there's 4 foundations in the ground right now.
So you're gonna put 3 more duplexes there?
No, there's already 4 foundations there.
It's already there.
And they're already 2, I'm just trying to get the financing for them, and my bank doesn't want a loan on 4 on one piece, they want it in 4 individual pieces.
turns it into a different type of loan from a residential loan to commercial loan, it's just this deal.
Make a motion to put ordinance number 32/2026 on its first reading and second reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Bill number 32/2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at North Oak Street and Mustang Ridge as authorized by section 405.320 of the municipal code of the city of Elton, Missouri.
Make a motion to put ordinance number 32/2026 on its second reading and ask the city clerk and final reading to act first reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Bill number 32/2026, ordinance approving the lot split at North Oak Street and Mustang Ridge as authorized by section 405.320 of the municipal code of the city of Elton, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaverly.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Ms. Mary having an ayes, the passage and approval. I declare bill number 32/2026 to be ordinance 32/2026. Okay, the next one is North Oak Street and Salem Road. This is a lot combination. And then we're gonna split it in a minute maybe, but it's a combination.
This is the one that backs up to the city property, close to the airport.
Yes.
So this, yeah, the airport, the water tower, all of Oak Street.
So how many lots are this, is this gonna be, how many
No,
lots?
they're combining.
They're combining the two.
One big lot.
Yeah,
First.
combining one big right now, and then.
Then it'll be split on the next one. It's cleaner if you, yeah.
Got it.
So this one's combining the two.
Where do you take it over?
Yep. Questions,
I
concerns?
make a motion to put ordinance number 33/2026 on its first reading, and ask the city clerk to read by title only.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Bill number 33/2026, an ordinance approving the lot combination at North Oak Street and Salem Road as authorized by section 405.325 of the municipal code of the city of Elton, Missouri.
I make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 33/2026 on its second and final reading, and ask the city clerk to read by title only.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Bill number 33/2026, an ordinance approving the lot combination at North Oak and Salem Road as authorized by section 405.325 of the municipal code of the city of Elton, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaverly.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair. Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mary having ayes and passage and approval. And I declare bill number 33/2026 to be ordinance 33/2026. Okay, 34 is the lot split, it's the same piece of property.
So this has 54 lots on the first deal. I already got it rezoned all to R3, but I don't plan on building multifamily on it, so that whole first finger is 51 lots. And I do, the little blue house I built on Grand, that's what I'm trying to build, but some will have 2-car garage, some will have 1-car garage, just affordable.
How big is that house?
1,000 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
I want to see the inside of it.
Okay, so you're building, so we're splitting the lots, and we're making 51 houses on each lot?
No, oh, sorry, well, one house per lot, there'll be 50, potentially 51.
We're building 51 houses between the split lots?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, because there's 51 lots is what we have on that first finger, which is what the, behind the water tower.
Right.
Yeah, over the course of somewhat, I mean, we're not doing it all tomorrow. It'll be, the road's built to city spec, which is a 3-inch lift and a 2-inch lift, which is, you guys just talked about how high dollar was. The curbs, it'll all be curved, which right now it's written it has to be square curb. I personally like rounded curb better, but, I'm not trying to fight that right now. I'm good with square
Or you
curbs.
can fight it later.
You know, like, we'll kick the can on that one. Yeah, engineered, the designed water, sewer, fire hydrants every 500 feet, manholes where they're supposed to be, all to spec to give to the city after this project's completed.
What's your estimated completion date?
Well, there's a lot of variables. If we sell 30 houses a year, it'd be a 4-year project. Well, that's for the whole thing. Yeah, it could be 10 houses a year and take 4 or 5 years. I don't know. If they're not selling, I'm not gonna keep building them.
I think that's a very.
So,
I'm glad you're so invested in it, Alvin, and that you have a sense of humor. I appreciate that.
So I don't have a problem with the lot split, I just wanna ask two things. I wanna make sure that we passed, or we talked about the fire hydrants being used, based on our committee meeting, so that they're using all the same fire hydrants when they go new areas, so that they're not, so that they're up to spec with what we want to replace all of our other fire hydrants with. Just because that's on our fire.
You bought those already?
no, I haven't, there'll be whatever Steve wants, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
He's already talked to me about it when he
That's
gets ready.
perfect. I just, because we have so many fire hydrants that we're trying to replace and that
They're
aren't working, it seems logical to use what we're going to be using forward in new builds, so that we're not wishing
Yeah.
we did something different on the back. And the other thing is, I know we're gonna talk about this when we get our comprehensive plan, but I do think eventually we are gonna have to think about the growth and how we're gonna grow our staffing to meet all the new folks that are coming into town, but I think it's awesome.
Therefore, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 34, 2026 on its first reading, and first reading by title only.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 34-2026, ordinance approving the lot split at North Oak Street and Salem Road as authorized by section 405.320 municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri.
I make a motion to put ordinance number 34, 2026 on its second and final reading, and first reading by title only.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 34-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at North Oak Street and Salem Road as authorized by section 405.320 of municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, having enough ayes and passage and approval.
Now declare bill number 34-2026 to be ordinance 34-2026. Okay, 35 and 36 are the same way, we gotta combine them first before we break them apart. This is at the end of Jones Avenue.
I make a motion to put ordinance number 35, 2026 on its first reading.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 35-2026, an ordinance approving the lot combination at the end of Jones Ave as authorized by section 405.325 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri.
I make a motion to put ordinance number 35, 2026 on second and final reading, as first reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 35-2026, an ordinance approving the lot combination at the end of Jones Ave as authorized by section 405.325 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yes.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, having enough ayes and passage and approval.
Now declare bill number 35-2026 to be ordinance 35-2026. Okay, 36 is the lot split for that same period.
Okay, second, third, and make a motion to put ordinance number 36, 2026 on its first reading, and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 36-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at the end of Jones Avenue as authorized by section 405.320 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and put ordinance number 36, 2026 on its second and final reading, and ask the city clerk to read it by title only.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Bill number 36-2026, an ordinance approving the lot split at the end of Jones Avenue as authorized by section 405.320 of the municipal code of the city of Eldon, Missouri. Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Alderman Weaver.
Yes.
Alderman Crockett.
Aye.
Alderman Walker.
Yes.
Alderman Fair.
Yep.
Alderman Benjamin.
Yes.
Mr. Mary, having enough ayes and passage and approval.
And I declare bill number 36-2026 to be ordinance 36-2026. Okay, is that record? Okay, mayor's business. The only thing I have is I'd like to appoint Richie Hess to planning and zoning. We had somebody that has moved out of city limits, so they no longer are able to be on that board.
What did you say? Something about Richie Hess.
Oh, sorry. I'd like to put Richie Hess on planning and zoning. We had someone move out of city limits, so they
Okay,
can no
that's
longer.
part of it here.
Yeah.
They can no longer serve on that board. Questions, concerns, thoughts? Outstanding. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Your business.
Okay, mine won't be as quick. Okay, just a few updates. City Hall, so our deputy collector put in her 2 weeks a few weeks ago, and also our utility billing clerk, is going back to nursing. And so we are in the process, actually, we were in the process of interviewing already for our deputy collector. We had 2 people that, David and Shelby did the interviewing. They had 2 people they wanted to hire, and so it worked out that we went ahead and have replaced those 2 jobs already. So, the next meeting that we have, we'll go ahead and be able to appoint them into their deputy collector, deputy city clerk, and then city clerk positions. So that'll all be taken care of at once. We also hired a codes EMA officer. As of right now, he's only working on Mondays because his name is Randy Blaylock. He is retiring from the state, and he's there through the end of this month. He will be starting full-time on May 1st. And then we did have 2 gentlemen start in our Parks and Recreation Department as our maintenance staff, and so they have been working on the parks. Travis has been training them to just make sure that they know everything that needs to be done in the ball fields, the pool, the community center, and everything else that Travis knows everything about. So he's been working with them, so we do appreciate that. I know that he's been pulled away from the water department some, but you know, when we talked about it, we wanted them to be trained correctly, and so that was the best way that we saw to do it. So that's kind of some updates with new employment.
Can you tell us the names of the people you hired? Or?
Yes, no, I can't. Parks and Recreation is James Parker and Tyler Brown. Codes EMA is Randy Blaylock. The utility billing clerk is Michaela Hood. And the deputy collector, David, you're gonna have to help me out on this one. Brianna something. I cannot think of her last name off the top of my head. Sorry. Okay, next. I laid out in front of you, some of you may have heard or may not, we had some significant parking lot damage at the air park on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon. Somebody decided they wanted some new tires, I guess, I don't know, but they did some significant damage and it's going to have to be repaired. I did contact insurance. Insurance does not cover parking lot damage, and so we're gonna have to be paying this out of our pocket. Steve got some estimates from Infrared Asphalt Restoration. It looks like it's gonna be about $2,500, which is a little bit less than what I was thinking that it was going to be after our initial conversation, so that's actually good. And it wouldn't have been covered under insurance anyway, because our deductible was $5,000. So hopefully it'll stay underneath that $5,000, so we can go ahead and just get it taken care of. So this is more for your information than anything else, but there's pictures of the damage. If you want to go take a look at it,
There will be, Manny, there will be discoloration when we heat it up and prep the asphalt back, but eventually it'll blend in. This is the cheapest option. Other options would be to patch it and then reseal the whole parking lot and then have to repaint the whole parking lot, so.
will this make us have to reseal it soon?
No.
Okay.
They're actually reheating the asphalt up just like you remanufacture it. So it just heats it up and then they patch it back.
I have lived by the park for a very long time, and I have seen a lot of the shenaniganizing going on in that park over the years. And I can't imagine why anybody should be in that park at 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, which I have seen many times. Is that a problem? Should I respond to that?
This happened at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So, I mean, yes, it could be.
People saw it then?
If they were there, I don't know.
Okay. So you don't know who did it?
That's a police investigation issue.
Oh, okay.
We know.
MYOB.
Yeah, we know.
If he wants to go, he will.
Okay, yeah, okay. I just wondered about is the city interested in having reports of people in the park like that late at night? Or is that just fine, you know? It's not anything to be noticed, it's like,
We patrol the parks. Parks close at dark, other than the, whatever, the basketball, pickleball court, that closes at some time.
9 o'clock, I believe, is when the lights turn off right now.
Or if any games are going on.
Yeah, and if games are going on.
so that's a pretty hard no. I won't be.
No, we do have a
Sure,
curfew,
yeah,
you
call.
can call and let them know they'll
Yeah,
go
we
check it out.
patrol them, yeah, it's
Yeah,
closed.
they'll go
after
check it
dark.
out.
You can always
Call dispatch.
Yeah, absolutely cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pat, if you see someone go down and you don't see them come back within a couple minutes, then I would call. I wouldn't call for every car you saw go down, because sometimes they just are driving and they get too far down, they have to turn around.
Oh, yes, I,
But you can keep them busy with people just driving.
back in the old days, when they used to have the post with the chains in the park, and that's a long time ago. I watched kids take their then Jeep SUV vehicles and try and jump those chains in their cars. You know, I've made a few calls.
Alright, next is, you also have information on the pavilion. So the estimate for going with the red iron is gonna be between 90 and 110,000. So I think we can all agree that's very significant, it's significantly less than what we were looking at as the wood. So are you guys as a board fine with moving forward with that?
Yes.
Okay.
No. I'm not.
Okay, then
I vote
we need to
against it.
take a
Okay,
vote.
someone
I
to make
want
a
wood.
I
motion.
make a motion to go with the red iron.
Or any discussion first? Do you want to say why or no?
I think that if we were living on a ranch in Montana and we wanted to donate something to the city, it would be great. I think a classic, simple design for the long haul to welcome the people and invite them into our city is important. I think that just because it's the least expensive, I don't support the project as it is.
Okay, so we have a
I think the
motion.
wood is much better, but that's me.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Yay, nay, hey.
Motion passed.
Okay, so the process for this is going to be the red iron pavilion will come in a package. And so this is going to be a 2-part bid process. The first part is going to be the bid that will be sent out for the material alone. And then once those bids are received, we'll have a bid opening with the engineering company. We'll decide which one's the best. We'll bring that, it'll get approved, and then it'll go out for bid for the labor part of it. And so the bid that you have in front of you is a request, an RFP for the materials package by itself.
And this is what's gonna cost between 90 and 110?
No, this estimate is going to be the estimate from the supplier, from what they received so far, is $53,100. And so the labor, on top of that will be what's between 90 and 110. Do you have anything you wanna say, or am I doing okay? Doing okay.
I
All right.
think you're fine.
Okay.
So this is good, cause that adds the extra dollars from the insurance payment back into our Parks and Rec. budget.
It sure does, to repair parking lots.
Absolutely, and, cause we got what,
$143,000.
Okay.
So this comes in well under budget.
You remind me, we're planning to paint it too, right?
Yes, we will request to have it painted in the bid. It'll probably be a charcoal gray color if I can make a decision.
And you can break that out separate, right? That way if we
It'll
decide
be a
it's
part-
too expensive, then we leave it for the next year.
It can be a separate part of the bid, but I'd like to go ahead and include it in the labor portion.
That way if we decide it's too expensive, we'll do it later.
Okay.
Do you want a motion for?
We need a motion to go ahead and take this out for bid.
I make a motion, we take this out for bid.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
All opposed? Motion passed.
All right, the next thing I have is, Other things that need to go out for bid that are in the budget, the first one is cemetery flagpoles. I don't have the bid in front of me right now, but I'd like to go ahead and get your permission to get that together and go out for bid and get it in the paper starting next week. If that's okay. The estimate that I have for that is about $12,725. And so it'll have to go out for bid, but it is in the budget.
Like going capital or?
It's from the cemetery. If you remember, last year we received a $55,000 donation, and we are using that money to make repairs to the cemetery with brand new flagpoles and a brand new fence along Elden Road.
Straight down?
What?
Are these ones that go straight down?
Yeah, and there's some other ones too.
I make a motion that we put the cemetery flagpoles out for bid.
Second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes.
Alright, I'm asking the same thing for the cemetery fence. So go ahead, just make a motion that we go ahead for bid on that one.
Make a motion to put the cemetery fence on that bid out.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed.
Okay, last thing I have is the street bid for the replacement, or the repaving, I'm sorry, for Court Street, First Street, and part of North Godfrey. So, we go ahead and get that, take that out for bid as well. Street repaving for Court Street, First Street, and part of North Godfrey.
A little stretch on Walnut too, Mandy. There's a little stretch on Walnut, just in between North Street and Court Street.
Okay, and Walnut too.
It's a square, basically.
I make a motion that we put those streets out for bid for paving.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Okay, does anyone have any questions on the packet that I put in the board packet?
Do we know when the flag is?
Memorial Day.
Is there any way to get that open earlier? I know, you don't want to, but there's so many nice days that kids can.
I know,
and I think we need to have a trial run before.
What is your
Brian wants to go out there and take a shower.
What is your, yeah, the social fence was been out there shortly. What is your recommendation, Terry?
I don't know, first day.
That's a good, that's could be a Travis and Steve question too, because there's still some things that need to be done.
Whenever you tell us you want it done, I mean, I don't know.
Silver. Mail it in a month.
Right.
Say that. Please don't say that. I need a thing to run smoothly.
How about by May 9th? That's.
I feel like for this year, it still needs to be at the end,
Okay.
Memorial Day, because of the new parks guys have got to learn all the things with a normal pool. They're still struggling to get the ball fields done this year. Maybe next year we can do all this, but I don't think they're gonna be ready to take all on this all at once.
So you think Memorial Day for sure it's gonna be up and running without any problems?
I
was
will,
just
I will
asking for a
make
test
it,
run.
I will make everything work if I have
I
to.
was just asking early for a test run to make sure it is working.
Well, it'll be, when we get it open for a test run, we'll invite you up.
I'm really great at it.
Okay, that's fine, they can be the first ones to use it.
They got a lot of work to do to catch up on. That's all I got. They're gonna have to start maintaining it, cause I'm not Parks and Rec anymore.
Cause you know, school
Being
gets out on
blunt
the
about it.
15th.
Well, and we'll definitely do a test run, but what Travis was saying, you know, they're learning and there's a lot going on. We got soccer and baseball firing up, so
Soccer's almost over, right?
right, I just don't wanna stress them out too bad. Soccer's almost getting close to over. I'd say they got 2 or 3 more weeks. I don't really know, but soccer ends and then baseball begins, and that's when they will not be able to stop.
Terry, I think the best thing to say is that the pool is our highest priority, it's a higher priority than the
I know
splash
it is.
pad.
But
And then
we've been waiting on the splash pad for 2 years now.
I know, trust me, I know.
But we will do a test run like
But
you're asking.
Let me know.
once the
I'll come
pool
up.
is done, and, cause we get that
You gotta get
open before Memorial Day.
Promise.
You're not allowed taking pictures.
Promise me there will be pictures.
I'll send Tammy out.
I'll scare her.
We'll do our best.
Okay? I'll get her.
Aldermen, alderwomen.
I only have something really quickly.
Yeah.
So, we had an airport committee meeting and we've been talking, and Mandy and David were very good about giving me all of the information and the million questions I asked them with no time, so thank you so much for that, appreciate it. One of the biggest concerns that, we talked about at this last meeting was the lighting and the fact that the bulbs are out, so, I talked to Jeremy Whitney today, because I wanted to find out the gasket issue. I have a picture, cause they had to show me what the problem was, so the gaskets are paper or, according to Jeremy, not solid, so if he's buying something else, he uses gaskets, so I've asked if he could start, he said he would like to start writing down the ones he replaces with these, they're like inner tube type gaskets instead of the ones that go on there that don't work, so maybe we can see if those are a little more effective, so we can get those bulbs replaced. Because the pictures that they show, like when they come in the wind at night, are a little sketch. So I wanna make sure we can get those lights. So I'm just saying to Brian and Steve, I did ask Jeremy if he could let me know if those gaskets work, cause that might save a lot of time if we could go out there and get them all working, and they work and they keep the moisture out. Also, would like to say thank you for putting the windsock up.
Well, this is a temporary one for right now, but.
Yeah, we had problems with that. It works for now.
Okay, Russell, do you have anything to add?
I think we're willing to help, like we can find the gaskets that we're gonna use and maybe some new light bulbs, like we have the manpower to volunteer to help.
Steve, do you know how many, light bulbs we still have in stock?
I'll have to get with Whitney.
I know we had like 80 last year.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Whitney replaces 10 or 15 or more, and then they're right back to even double that amount out, so
Yeah.
I'll have to get with him. I mean, they can go through them pretty quick. Every storm and rain event seems to take out more.
And I will say, the meetings are going very well. I think Ryan kind of came up with some plans for things that, him and I would probably like to meet with you at some point and figure that out, but I will say that they all seem very willing to help with things and things like that, so, maybe we can get up to speed.
Who is on the committee?
Russell Hanson, Corey Dunn, Landon Hall, Eric Dial, Chance Smith, Jimmy Leet, Ryan and myself. Did I get it right?
Yes. That was impressive.
Gold.
When I did it, I had to read it. Impressive.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I question from my perspective is the water meters. Do we know where we're at on that? I know we made some work at replacing a lot of them, or is the number still coming down?
Yes, it's still going down. It actually dropped down, back down into the 300s. Last time I talked to Jonathan, it was down to 250.
Yeah.
It's dropping. So the guys are working on it every day.
Awesome. And then the cold patching, I know we're working on that.
Yeah. We got two new, we got one guy hired back to start cold patching, so the other guys, they'll have back 2 guys patching. We're still down 1 guy in the street department. We actually lost 4 guys in the wastewater department again. So we're definitely hiring pretty much all the departments again, but.
How many openings do you currently have? You say you lost somebody else? in
Yes, we
wastewater?
had another one we just lost. And then, of course, Logan resigned. So got his position open, and then we just had another one leave in wastewater.
Okay, so we have 2 streets, 1 water, and 2 wastewater then?
Yes.
Okay.
What's our warranty on the meters still? How close are we getting to the end of it?
Actually, right now, all the ones that are dying are still under warranty.
How much longer do we have? What's the
Most of them, we got another year, about a year. The older ones anyway. Yeah, all the ones that we bought in 17.
Do you have to be 18 to work in water, wastewater,
Yes.
streets?
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
I was just thinking like maybe if we were up against a deadline with the warranties, if we could get some tests and just get them knocked out.
I mean, if we're talking part-time help, I mean, they can help out, to a point. It's just, depending on what we're getting into, if they're just helping changing out the meters and all, we definitely have to make sure, because there's a lot, you just pop the head off, you gotta reset it, you gotta enter.
Well, if it's more work than it's worth, it's not worth it, but.
Well, it can be done if we have the right kids. I'm not saying it couldn't be done.
Okay, just something to think about. I know you
Okay.
guys are.
Our new meter reader is doing really well. He's trying to change out all he can, so that makes a big difference there. So.
Anything else? If not, we will go into closed session as authorized by section 16. 10.021, 1 legal and 3 firing. Someone make a motion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.